Should you buy an electric car? Electric cars are everywhere. Every major car manufacturer is releasing new models, governments are offering incentives, and fuel prices seem to keep climbing. But here's the question most Australians really want answered. Will an electric car actually save you money? Because while EVs promise lower running costs, they often come with a higher purchase price. So before you spend tens of thousands of dollars on your next vehicle, let's find out whether an electric car is really worth it. Choosing the wrong car could cost you thousands of dollars over the next decade. For many Australians, a car is the second biggest purchase they'll ever make after buying a home. And with electric vehicles becoming more common, more people are asking whether they should stick with a traditional petrol car or make the switch. The answer isn't as simple as EVs being cheaper or petrol cars being better. It depends on how much you drive, where you charge, electricity prices, fuel prices, and even how long you plan to keep the vehicle.
By the end of this video, you'll understand the real running costs of electric and petrol cars, see a practical Australian example, and have a much clearer idea of whether an EV makes financial sense for you.
Let's break down the numbers. The biggest advantage of an electric vehicle is that electricity is generally cheaper than petrol. Let's assume the average Australian drives around 15,000 kilometers per year. We'll compare two similar vehicles, one electric vehicle, one petrol vehicle. For the petrol car, let's assume fuel consumption of 7 liters per 100 kilometers. At a petrol price of $2 per liter, the annual fuel cost would be 15,000 kilometers divided by 100. Multiplied by 7 liters, that's 1,050 liters of fuel per year. At $2 per liter, that's approximately $2,100 per year in petrol costs. Now, let's look at the EV. Many modern electric vehicles consume around 15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. At an electricity price of 30 cents per kilowatt hour, the calculation looks like this. 15,000 kilometers divided by 100. Multiplied by 15 kilowatt hours, that's 2,250 kilowatt hours per year. Multiplied by 30 cents, the annual charging cost comes to approximately $675. So in this example, the petrol vehicle costs about $2,100 per year. The electric vehicle costs about $675 per year. That's a saving of roughly $1,425 every year. And if you charge using solar power during the day, the savings could be even greater. The next major difference is maintenance. Petrol cars have a lot of moving parts. They require oil changes, spark plug replacements, air filters, fuel filters, transmission servicing, and many other routine maintenance items. Electric vehicles are much simpler mechanically. There is no engine oil, no spark plugs, no exhaust system, no timing belts, no fuel system. As a result, EV servicing costs are often significantly lower. While exact costs vary by manufacturer, many EV owners report spending hundreds of dollars less per year on servicing compared to petrol vehicles. Over a 10-year ownership period, these savings can add up to several $1,000s. Now let's talk about insurance and registration. Insurance for electric vehicles can sometimes be more expensive. The higher vehicle value and specialized repair requirements can increase premiums. Registration costs vary between states. Always get insurance quotes before buying any vehicle. The numbers can vary dramatically depending on your age, location, driving history, and vehicle choice. Now we get to the biggest obstacle, the purchase price. Electric vehicles are generally more expensive to buy. Let's imagine a petrol vehicle costs $35,000. A comparable electric vehicle might cost $50,000. That's a difference of $15,000 upfront. Even if you're saving around $1,500 per year on fuel and maintenance, it could take many years before those savings offset the higher purchase price. This is often called the break-even point. If your annual savings are around $1,500, it would take roughly 10 years to recover an extra $15,000 in purchase costs. For people who replace cars every 3 or 4 years, that payback period may be too long. But for someone planning to keep a vehicle for 10 years or more, the economics become much more attractive. One concern many people have is battery replacement. Early electric vehicles created fears that owners would need expensive battery replacements after only a few years. The reality has been much better than many expected. Most manufacturers now offer battery warranties of around 8 years. many batteries continue performing well beyond that period. Battery technology has improved rapidly, and real-world data shows many EV batteries retaining a large percentage of their original capacity even after hundreds of thousands of kilometers. While battery replacement can be expensive, for most owners it isn't likely to be an immediate concern. Financially, EVs can save money, but convenience also matters. With a petrol car, filling up takes only a few minutes. With an EV, charging takes longer. The good news is that most charging happens at home while you're sleeping. Instead of visiting a service station every week, many owners simply plug in overnight and wake up with a full battery. However, long road trips can require additional planning. Australia's charging network continues to grow, but charging availability still varies depending on where you live and travel. For city drivers, this is usually less of a problem. For people regularly traveling long distances through regional areas, it's worth considering.
So, who should buy an electric car? An electric vehicle may make sense if you drive a reasonable number of kilometers each year, you can charge at home, you plan to keep the vehicle for a long time, you want lower fuel and maintenance costs, you have access to solar power. A petrol vehicle may still make more sense if you frequently drive long regional routes, you cannot easily charge at home, you want the lowest upfront purchase price. You tend to replace vehicles every few years. The right answer depends on your personal circumstances. So, should you buy an electric car? For many Australians, the running costs are significantly lower than a petrol vehicle. But the higher purchase price means the savings don't happen overnight. The key is looking beyond the sticker price and considering the total cost of ownership over the life of the vehicle. If you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe for more Australian finance, investing, and money-saving content. And let me know in the comments, would you buy an electric car, or are you sticking with petrol? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.